Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to a muggy edition of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason.
And me, Jennifer.
Have a few drinks.
And talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
If you have any funny stories about your kids.
Or if you need some bad parenting advice or have questions for us.
Please call us at 256-274-1329. Miss Jennifer.
I got a little confused because I was, I guess, doing the outro with the, if you have any ideas for topics.
Oh, you were looking at the wrong spot.
No, I wasn't in the wrong spot, but I was wanting to say that, I guess.
Oh.
At that point, for some reason, it feels like that has changed.
It has not.
Okay.
These templates are all the same, although I
Okay.
realized I just deleted my template form, so I have to go try to recreate it. But
Good job,
Oh,
Jason.
hush you.
But leave us a message.
Yes, leave us a message. Miss Jennifer, I am so excited because we have a lady that I don't know super well. We've only volunteered, I think, twice together, but our endless supply of guests for this podcast usually come from either one of our jobs or shenanigans, and
Yep.
today we got shenanigans.
Yep.
So for all our 5 listeners, welcome Miss Leslie to the podcast. Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I am super great.
When's the last time you volunteered at shenanigans?
Just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only do about once a month. I just feel like a bit overwhelmed with all the craziness I got going on. So
Yeah. I was supposed to be there this past weekend, but then I took a impromptu trip for my kiddo's birthday, and luckily they covered for me.
heck yeah.
It's a good group.
Yeah, it's a really nice group of people.
volunteers. I mean, like he said, we've talked to a good bit of volunteers from there. And we had the owners.
Right.
Jessica
Fantastic
and-
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim and
We
Jessica have created a
Kim and
great
Jessica,
community.
Yeah. And they're just awesome people.
They are.
They're super
All
sweet.
that outreach work that they do.
Yeah, I love it.
On top of having 2 full-time jobs
And kids.
and kids.
Right.
I get tired just doing my little job, and which I work from home, and I don't work that hard. I admit it. I don't work that hard. So Panita, if you're listening, it's like programming is not that taxing, but I'm not like Jennifer.
Overwhelmed with questions from the other people. So
I'll admit programming is not like the most physically taxing, and sometimes it's half the time it's not even all that like mentally taxing. But then I have the podcast, and then I have an 11-year-old, and I'm tired after that, and I don't know
It
how
just adds up.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll get into that in a second. So, Miss Leslie, thank you so much for coming. Did you have any trouble finding us out here?
I didn't. No. I
here?
threw it into the Google Maps, and it took me straight here.
Awesome. What part of town are you coming from?
I came from Madison, my mom's house.
Okay.
We go and visit her on Sundays. So the kiddos are over there hanging out while I'm here.
Nice.
nice.
Well, very good. All right, Miss Leslie, we want to introduce what we're drinking today?
Yes, we've got a Gen 5, GEN number 5, Pinot Noir 2022 from California. And it's lovely.
It is pretty good.
2022 in the house.
I think this is one every time we go to Costco, like I always see what they have in like the $7 to $8 range, and
Yeah.
this is one of them, I believe.
Yeah, this is, I think, because I was like, let's get a Pinot Noir, because I know, is it Luis?
Mm-hmm.
I think Luis loves a Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
He gets happy.
They always have things
Pinot
between
Noir?
90 and 93 points for $10 or under.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we love
said
it.
that
Wrong.
and some of them we were like, maybe the point scale's out of 1,000.
And their box wine is really good too, but I kind of stay away from it because you can't tell how much you've had.
Before you
That's why
leave,
you have glasses. You don't just pour the box.
Well,
into-
I mean, I've
into
never.
your mouth,
Well,
you know. I guess it would be like a wine box stand
Yep.
instead of a cake stand. Just like,
still, it's nice to have the bottle where you can see it, going down the levels.
we just drink too much, so we have we have a box wine that we absolutely love.
yeah, before you leave, we'll let you try some because it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's been aged in bourbon barrels, and it's
that
really
makes
good.
it really smooth.
Yeah.
And also it has a higher alcohol content
Yeah.
than a lot of the wines do, because Jennifer is German Irish, so
She doesn't feel anything.
I can drink like a fish.
The reason I like the boxes so much though is that I cannot finish a bottle on my own. If I finish a bottle on my own, I'm drunk. So I like
Absolutely, yeah.
2 glasses at max. But a box, it's like I can get me a glass, last, and I don't drink wine a ton. Like, frankly, I drink mostly because of this podcast. Like, I might have a glass or two every now and then, but I don't drink a ton. So, like,
that's the way to do it.
The boxes just last for fucking ever. So it's like the perfect thing to do. Yeah. So we thumbs up on this bottle, ladies.
Yes, thumbs up.
All right.
Chewing, so I can't thumbs up.
All right. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And Benjamin, so one of Jennifer and I's Jennifer's oldest friends, I met him about 6 years ago, or whenever I met Jennifer, I met him too. He's been listening to our podcast from the beginning, so we always refer to him as our loyal listener. Nice. I was like, Benjamin, let us know if they're inserting ads into those breaks, because we're up to 37 cents now on ad revenue we've earned in the 3 years we've been doing this. All right, Miss Leslie. Well, I guess I had a question. So before we get into the childhood thing, how did you get involved in shenanigans?
So it was the weird kids at first, because we homeschool, and so we were always looking for friends for the kids. And so, years ago when they first started it and they were having the get-togethers once a month, I would take the kids down there just to meet other people. And Jess is non-binary, and so it was a good network for them to be a part of. And they're also autistic. And they're artists. Is this one of your children? My oldest goes by Jess. Or Jester.
Yep.
I am a little, sounds like a Batman villain. So I'm going to call you Jess. But I do, yeah. And so, we would just go to those things. And then there was a homeschool co-op for a short period of time that was a spinoff. We pulled most of our members from the Weird Kids group. And so we were a part of that. And it used to be held at Shenanigans, and then it moved, and then it fell apart. And then I started... after the divorce, and I was finally trying to get out and meet people, I started going to the board game nights, and then I started volunteering, and it just sort of evolved.
You're fine. I was going to say, for some reason, we're attracting a big audience, air quotes there, audience in Virginia and Georgia for some reason. Oh, wow. So could you explain what Weird Kids is?
Yes. So the Weird Kids group was put together by the owners of Shenanigans, Jessica and Kim. And it's kind of like an outreach program for neurodivergent and LGBTQ plus kids and youth and teens. And so the idea is a lot of these youth they don't have a good social outlet, and they're not making enough friends, and they're quite
sad.
They're lonely. Yeah, we need community so much. And so it's this amazing group that they've put together, and they have get-togethers once or twice a month. They have try it out days where people come and teach different skills, and you can just try it out for fun. And they have proms and little parties, and so it's just been a wonderful outlet.
That's great. I haven't done much with Weird Kids. I've known about Weird Kids for a while, but I haven't done anything beyond the board game. I went to that, but I think that was an adult thing.
That's Weird Kids for Life, which is the adult version. Yeah,
and that was fun. I played games I never got to play before, so that was fun. I keep trying to get Zane loves board games, and I like them too, but not as much as Zane. And I keep telling him, I was like, go do the board games, and he did it, but he is like. I have to drag him to stuff half the time. He's not going to do it on his own. So I got to make the effort again to go take him. When is the board games?
It's upstairs in the Black Box Theater area, and they have it on the second and fourth Saturdays of the month in the evenings from 6 to 10, usually.
So for any of our listeners in Huntsville or surrounding areas, North Alabama area, if you want to come to Shenanigans and play some board games and get to know Shenanigans, because we have a very loyal group of volunteers.
And they're so welcoming.
Yeah. Everybody is super sweet. And it's always there's a pretty, I don't think I'm part of the core yet, but I'm definitely one of the regulars. But there's definitely not hardcore, but a dedicated core of volunteers that work very regularly.
And Michael and Molly are the ones that typically run that show with the board games, and they both do a great job and make sure everybody feels welcome. And then we break up into multiple game groups. So there's different levels and different types of games going on that you can fit to your liking. And they are also really happy to talk anyone through the specifics on how to play a game.
Yeah. I played a game I'd never heard of before, and they walked me through it, and it was a lot of fun. So, and Molly's actually been on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
She was an old friend of Jennifer's. She showed up, and Jennifer's like, "Oh my gosh, Molly!"
I love Molly.
I know you. Yeah, I met her through her ex.
Oh,
yeah. All right, Miss Leslie. So let's turn back the clock. So you were telling us before the podcast started, you have 3 children.
I do.
So your eldest is 17. So let's roll back the clock. So how did?
Sorry.
Let's
get us copyrighted here. Snap out of it.
I
throw in some new lyrics.
I got hooked into the Facebook the Reels thing, you know, and it had that scene where he like tries to share.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the little doll, and so now,
So do I get to slap you and say, snap out of it? So
if I had hair, I'd do the...
So 18 years ago, Miss Leslie, how did...
When you were like 14.
I was 24.
That was a compliment.
Yeah, thank you. I was 24 and young and naive, and I was pregnant, and it was a miserable pregnancy. I was just sick the whole time, and I was trying to work at the same time. I had a 5:45 a.m. shift at a coffee shop, and so it would just it would ruin the whole day.
That doesn't sound fun,
right? And then the second Jess was born, I was filled with all these hormones. The sickness was gone, and I was just on cloud 9. But then I didn't sleep for a week, and I don't know. It was crazy.
Maybe a little postpartum.
Right? Yeah, it was like this big shift, and I wasn't sad, but I was just amped up.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I had the sling, and so I just carry the baby, and I'd clean the house and cook some things, and I just couldn't slow down for some reason. And
then you cried.
Because of all the morning sickness, and I had been relatively healthy beforehand, but because of that, I could literally only eat McDonald's while I was pregnant, which is horrible. Yeah. The second they were born, I was like, bring me vegetables.
Give me some broccoli right now.
Yes.
Give me some sushi and broccoli.
Oh, I did. I would get that tuna tataki, like the little rounds with just the tuna in the middle, and some coconut soup from Surin for lunch.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So were you married at the time?
Not technically, but
long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it planned or was it?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. We were in 5 Points.
Okay, because I was gonna say you said Surin, which
right. Yeah.
Surin
My dad
awesome,
would bring it over.
So are you a Huntsville native?
Might as well be. I've been here since '91.
Okay. Where were you born?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Knew something.
You were born in Georgia.
It's mid Georgia.
Okay. And then y'all moved to.
Then my dad was in the Air Force, and so we hopped up to Ohio for a few different spots up there. Okay. And then they were having something where they wound up with too many captains, and so they were like, okay, you can retire early and take this retirement package, or we can fire you.
Oh, Jesus.
And so he retired.
Well, yeah.
And we came here.
Very cool. Yeah. So that 91, that was 34 years ago. So you would have been about.
I was going into the 3rd grade.
Okay. Yeah, you were about 9, I was going to say. That was a long time ago.
It was. Yep. I've been here for a minute.
So we were about the same age.
Yeah.
Because I was born in 81.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
84.
I would have been 10. Oh, not 9 then.
Okay. I didn't do the math.
91.
I was trusting.
Well, she said 3rd grade, so I was like, that's about.
I started school at 5.
Maybe, 8 then.
7. Well, depending on year or month. Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
I'm sure.
I was a youngin'.
You're pretty much. Huntsvillian or
Yep.
Madisonian or whatever they're called.
North
All of
Alabamian.
them.
Well, because
We've
she said
hopped
that her
around.
mom was in Madison.
Yeah, we started
so-
in Madison, lived a few places in Huntsville, lived out towards Ardmore, lived out in the Maysville area, did a stint in Newmarket.
All the
tested
suburbs.
All the waters.
Five Points, which was
Yeah.
way,
Ooh, that was the best.
way different than the other ones
Love
you just
5
pointed
Points.
out.
So for
Five Points is like our freak area.
well, it was.
It's the
I'm
hippie artist community. I worked at the coffee shop there that used to be amazing when it was a nice, quaint little place of community.
So for our
One right off Pratt. Oh, I love that. I had
what is it called? What was it called?
Old Town Coffee.
Old Town, yep.
Yeah.
So for our
I don't go anymore, but my understanding is it has changed dramatically.
So for our non-Huntsville listeners, Leslie was describing a bunch of surrounding communities to Huntsville, and then 5 Points is one of the 5 historic neighborhoods in Huntsville.
Yes.
And it's all old, like really old Sears and Roebuck's houses, I think, like
Yes.
catalog houses that the mill built.
There's some of those, and then it's not Twickenham. You know, Twickenham is across the street and closer to downtown, and that's where it gets real ritzy.
Yeah, so 5 Points is one of them. Twickenham is one of them. Old Town is one of them. Merrimack is one of them. And the one up on top of the mountain, I can't pronounce its name, up on Montesano, but I can't remember the name of it. But yeah. But
What's the one on the other side of the cemetery from 5 Points?
that's Twickenham.
No, that's that way. On the other side.
Other side of California?
It's on the same side as 5 Points, but on the other side of the cemetery.
So I
Closer
thought...
to the
Where
hospital.
Blossomwood is?
Yes, Blossomwood. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay, that's not a historic neighborhood, though.
It is. I think so.
I don't know.
They have
Just call
some
it the
signs
hospital.
in their.
I'm talking like I know I've only been here 16 years, so don't listen to my dumb ass.
I lived in 5 Points, but I did not live in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of rich people in 5 Points, and there's a lot of poor people, and I was one of the poor people that lived in 5 Points.
It's such an
I
interesting
lived
mix.
in a 3-bedroom apartment behind somebody's house.
When I first moved to Huntsville in 2009, like 5 Points was starting to gentrify, but before that, it was like that's where it was very hippy dippy. It was very like artistic and it's like hookers and like musicians and
You cannot leave your bike outside unlocked.
Yeah.
No matter what.
But in the last 16 years that I've been here, the houses have like skyrocketed in price.
Mm-hmm.
They're still itty bitty little tiny things, and I think they've driven out all the artists basically.
Yeah.
So it's just all
And they're getting
gentrified
rid
now.
of the apartments too. All those little cheapo apartments that they had for so long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they're building big old, massive
that
apartments.
tower over all the other houses.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But yeah,
it's
I'm.
just changing.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So you were.
All right, so 5 Points. You were there at one point.
Yeah.
Were you there when?
I was there
Jess?
when Jess was born.
Okay.
We were pretty poor, like really poor. I had a car but couldn't afford gas or insurance, so I didn't drive. And luckily, we were in 5 Points. So my dad lived a couple blocks away, and he would come over and help me. And every single day, I would have one of those carriers, and I would wrap Jess on because I was all about nurturing and keeping them close and bonding, and did everything all natural and as inexpensively as possible. So we would walk to Garden Cove, walk over to the dog park, walk down to Big Spring Park, walk back through Twickenham, hit the cemetery, and then get home about 4 or 5 hours later.
Wow.
And that was how we spent our days.
It's a pretty good circle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably like 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah.
Especially because that cemetery is massive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's beautiful though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. My ex-roommate used to run through there because it was just so
It's perfect.
It's like quiet and just
The kids learned to ride their bikes there.
I mean, it's
Yeah, and for people that are listening, it's not like they're riding their bikes on like gravestones. There's lots of paved roads,
Pathways.
Yeah.
Yes.
throughout
Yes.
the
That's
whole
what made it
cemetery.
so perfect.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then my friend would run on the paved road, and they would ride their bikes. Not that they were in the grass and falling on a
Yeah.
tombstone or something.
it's a beautiful. It's Huntsville's oldest cemetery, if I remember correctly.
It
isn't
is.
Yeah.
It is.
But
And it's got some Confederate soldier like sections.
Yeah.
Now, all their amazing 100-year-old trees got hit really hard about a year and a half ago, and so they're missing quite a bit of those. But I think one of them, somebody went in to the tall trunk, and they like sculpted it, and it's beautiful.
Really?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
you have
really
to check
cool.
it out.
Yeah.
Every year, for non-Huntsville listeners, they do a cemetery days where they have actors stand on the graves of famous people.
No.
That are,
They don't stand on the grave.
well, they stand by the graves.
Yes,
and
they're
they
dressed in costume.
and they tell the stories of the people who are buried there.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah, it is.
We had Tallulah Bankhead, even though she's not buried there, but she is a famous.
We still talk about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our claim to fame.
Yeah. So you had Jess, you're in 5 points, you're 24.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
with your long-term boyfriend.
Yep.
How long did you stay in?
So we were there for quite some time. So Reed was also born while we were still living in that house.
And Reed's the middle one.
Reed is the middle one. He's 14. So that was 3.5 years later. And I had a really difficult birthing experience and was honestly petrified of having to...
After Jess?
Yes,
Okay.
having to go back to the hospital. And so we hired a midwife from Coleman, but we had to go to Elkmont to have the baby. And so that night, like, I knew that I was in labor. I'm calling the midwife. I'm like, hey, I'm in labor. It's still early. And she's like, oh, well, we've got somebody else here right now. If it's still early, maybe just wait a minute. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
okay. And so we go on a walk to try to help, ease things. And then sure enough, it hit. We're driving 100 miles per hour to Elkmont, and like my water breaks in the car. I crawl into the house, barely
God.
like, keeping myself from pushing. I make it next to the tub that I paid a huge deposit to get to give birth into, and she's like, "You can't climb in there, honey," and I give birth within 15 minutes of arriving.
Wow.
Was this birth as traumatic as the first one?
No, it was actually, aside from not getting, to get in the tub until afterwards, when I was like, well, I'm paid for it, so
Give me a bag.
Yeah.
right? And it was really relaxing, but it was so much easier and just really, really lovely.
So, question, why did you have to go to Elkmont if they were in Coleman?
It was illegal still, and she had actually been arrested before because somebody turned her in for helping give birth, or helping women give birth in Ardmore.
Midwifery is not legal, or it wasn't. I remember that.
Yeah, it's shifting, but it's still really tricky.
Is it still? Wow.
Yeah, I know midwives in the area, but I think that they still prefer to go, and work in Tennessee, and there's some birthing centers there. And then all the certifications and everything that they have to go through can be pretty extreme.
That's crazy.
Even, and most of them have been doing it for, 10 or more years,
Right.
just with other midwives in Tennessee, and they couldn't get certified.
Or women in all
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Women have been giving birth in random places.
Right?
Without hospitals. And
Yeah.
Do we know why it's illegal in Alabama? Why midwifery
Alabama's
is?
just ass backwards.
Well, I realize, but I don't
we
think
love
it's
to support our doctors.
I get it. But it's not illegal in Mississippi, is it?
No,
Yeah,
it's
so
not.
stupid.
Or Tennessee. Tennessee has this amazing hippie commune called The Farm. I forget the lady's name who started it, but women from all over the world go there to give birth.
Wow.
It's amazing.
See, when I hear the farm, I think cult.
What?
I've had a lot of people, when you describe it, they're like, that sounds like a cult. And I'm like, no, you don't
cult. I thought you said
understand.
cult, like COLT.
Well, or the place where, your mom and dad told you that the dog is.
So what makes it different from a cult, one of the major things that makes it different from a cult is people voluntarily go and then get to leave anytime they want.
Nice.
So that's what they're called.
There was a
I know people that have given birth there, were highly satisfied, and returned home with beautiful, healthy babies.
I have watched the documentary, so
it exists. It exists.
Yeah.
there's I think it's a hippie commune. I don't know. It's like some sort of homesteading thing with a bunch of family, like a family compound in Texas that I had a friend who was a part of, and it was very hippy dippy, and it was really nice people, but it was just that lifestyle is just so...
You have to be on board.
Yeah, it's very like different from the rest of American society, and it's like a culture shock when you show up.
Absolutely.
Is hippy dippy like mean?
No.
To say?
Well, I mean, it would depend. Anybody can be offended by anything that they want to, but I think any person that really identified as a hippie would be like, yeah, I'm hippie dippy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because I you've said it multiple times, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever.
Well, the remnants of the hippie culture from the 70s and 60s, I think those are the people who founded those communes and those homesteads. And
just knew them.
It's all about tone,
but not the dippy.
It's all about tone. I mean, if you're like
hippy dippy,
flip your hair, like, you know.
No, don't make me do the share again.
I will say that the commune in Texas that I knew of, I went and visited one time. They were very into like saving the planet, which is pretty common among the hippie communities, or like the
growing their own stuff.
Yeah. But they didn't have AC, and in Central Texas, I was like. They had done some architecture, so it would like help. And my friend said that the way they built the house like allowed for wind flow. So actually, his room was the coolest in the house because it got a lot of wind flow. But he had no privacy. So like there was just, like no one could see into his room, but you could hear everything. So his parents put up like fake walls so that he could have a little privacy. Because I can't imagine being like a teenage boy in Texas with no walls.
With no privacy.
And I was like, oh God.
It is what it is.
And I was like, stop masturbating, goddammit.
We have a bathroom.
So you gave birth to... So what, the middle one's name was what?
Reed.
So you gave birth to Mr. Reed in Elkmont.
In Elkmont, yep.
On the floor, basically.
Yep. And then, just turned around and came home an hour later.
Wow.
But no McDonald's cravings.
No, with that one, so after the craziness with Jess and then wanting all the vegetables, I actually went vegan for a little while and vegetarian, did some raw food stuff, and that held on for a good long while. And I really like to feed them all naturally. We would make green smoothies every day, and just to make sure they were getting whatever nutrients they needed.
Right.
And so when I was pregnant with Reed, it went really well, and very little morning sickness. But about 3/4 of the way through, it's like I kept getting this flavor in my mouth. I'm like, what's that? And it was obviously something that I really wanted and really probably needed. And it took about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And we're driving down the road and I was like, I have to have a lamb chop.
Give me some mint and some lamb chops.
Butter and thyme. That's the way.
Yeah,
pan seared with butter and thyme, and I'm good to go.
That was so funny.
So, I mean, that was still all the meat that I really wanted, but at least once a week, I was like, this is obviously something I need right now.
Right.
So,
but it's better than McDonald's.
Yeah, absolutely.
But more expensive, but better.
Well, just one little lamb chop, and it wasn't the expensive ones. It was like a loin chop, so it's a slice of the leg. It was about $7. We could handle that once a week.
So Mr. Reed was born in, how old was Jess? Like 3 at the time?
3.5.
3.5,
yep.
wow.
Yep.
How was that being pregnant with a toddler?
That part went really, really well. But Jess always had a very, very hard time relating to their siblings. And I don't know if it was a space thing or if it was an autistic thing or what. But so, yeah, that part was interesting. And then Reed was the funniest baby. For one, he was colicky, sick to his stomach all the time. And so we couldn't drive anywhere because if we were driving, it was fine. And then the second we stopped, he would just start screaming and throwing up. And he would nurse until he puked, and then he'd want to nurse some more. And it's just like, how do we, do I stop you?
I bet that was
I'm not sure the protocol here.
I bet that was exhausting on your poor boobs too.
Well, we made it through.
That's
we bounced back.
There you go.
They didn't drop. They bounced back.
And then, we were still doing our walking routine, except now Reed was with us, so I would wrap Reed on. And Jess, by the time they were 4, was this little cycling savant. And so that whole 4 to 5 mile loop, Jess would bicycle while we walked. Now, there's a funny story, funny-ish, where we were at the very end of Big Spring Park, and Jess is just going and going. And they decide that they're going to ride their bike down those little steps. And so they, make it a couple, and then the bike just flops over in the water.
Oh, no.
Luckily, they grab onto the sidewalk, and they're just hanging on there while we catch up. Their bike sinks to the bottom.
Oh, my God.
We're pulling them out. We've got to go home and get a rake to, rake the bike out.
Oh, my
For any
God.
listeners, Big Spring Park is not very deep. It has a lot of koi.
Yeah, that part is about 4 or 5 feet deep.
And there's lots of...
It's just a giant pond in the middle of the park, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Wow.
Yeah. That's
so... I mean, I remember Big Spring Park when the pandemic was going on and Pokemon Go kind of caught fire. And some fucking Pokemon was out in the middle of the pond and some idiot just swam out there to get it. So that was so funny. Was he traumatized? Were they traumatized?
No, he was just fine. We pulled him out, and that was that. They were thrilled when we were able to save the bike, and it's just another story.
That's so precious.
It's like I'm gonna ride it wet home.
Right.
So you said Jess is autistic. When did you start noticing the symptoms?
So we really didn't necessarily put it all together until much later on. With the way I taught them and was always with them, and we honestly just didn't socialize a whole lot. It didn't click. It didn't click right away, but it did become very obvious over time. And then I started thinking back, and it was they had pica. We could not have styrofoam or any foam in the house. The foam balls, the mattress, the couch, they would eat it.
Wow.
What is the construction paper? They would eat construction paper. And then the bicycling, they would have a hobby and they would just do that hobby for 4 or 5 hours in a row, without breaking focus. They were just zoomed in on it. And then it just sort of, evolved over time. And they were obviously hypersensitive to noise and crowds and lights. And
do they have the clothing texture issue too?
Oh my goodness, yes. And with them, they're doing so much better now, and I'm thrilled. But they went through a very long, 5 to 10 year phase where they wanted to be as covered as possible, even in the middle of summer. Oof. And they have heat sensitivity. So we've got knee-high rubber boots. We have Dickies overalls. We have a turtleneck sweater. We have a winter coat. We have a face mask. We have rubber gloves.
Oh, wow.
And they would not take it off, even if they were outside in the middle of summer.
Did we have any issues with heat stroke or that?
Yes, we did.
Oh,
yes.
Lord.
There were many times where it was we got to go now. This is,
Jeez Louise.
They still want to ride their bike with all that on because that's their routine and that's what they're used to, and you cannot stop their routine.
And you can't, if I'm just please just take your coat off, and they're I can't do it, somebody might see me.
But you have a turtleneck on and gloves.
It was a thing. It was a whole thing.
Wow. I bet just having worked at Disney World for a year as one of the characters and how much weight I lost.
Oh my goodness.
I bet they were skin and bones too, weren't they?
They were pretty thin. Yeah.
How did Reed handle, how did he handle his sibling and all the quirkiness?
Reed is the most gregarious child you will ever meet, and crazy positive, very emotionally aware, and incredibly independent. They would just sit on the floor and play with themselves for hours, with blocks and create these patterns, and they love trains, and I remember when they were 18 months old, like they were ready to potty train, and they were telling me that they were ready to potty train.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not ready to potty train you yet. And literally it got to a point where I stuck the toilet in whatever room they were hanging out in, and they trained themselves. And I'm just, okay, thank you for doing that.
That's very nice.
This was very helpful.
A question, and like, not trying to be judgmental, but you've kind of indicated like you were, like, even you said you were kind of a hippie. Did you do the cloth diapers and everything?
We did.
Okay.
We did,
How was that? Because I didn't have, we got Clay at 5 and we adopted my son at 17. So it was like, I've never had to deal with the baby.
We got the good ones.
Okay.
You want the snaps. And then if you buy the ones that are sizable, then they last almost the entire time. So they've got like 3 rows up and down, and then 3 rows across. And so you just snap wherever to make it fit. And you save a lot of money that way. And then the outer layer is like a nylon with a waterproof lining. And so they're not leaking all over the place.
Which is good.
And my children had what I'm assuming were latex allergies and would get yeast infections really easily if we didn't do the cloth diapers, which we couldn't afford the others anyway. So it was a no-brainer.
Right.
And then you keep like plastic trash cans with soapy water, and then, you hose it off or rinse it off. Like there's this hose attachment for your toilet. And so you just hose it off into the toilet, and then you toss the cloth diaper into this container that's got soap and maybe vinegar to help with the smell. And then once you have a load, you wash it and you're good to go. Yeah.
I've heard, like, I've known, I was like kind of cognizant about cloth diapers, but I never like had met anybody who had done it. So I was kind of just curious, because my grandson, he's living with us and he's 1 and he's still in diapers, but I've never, I've heard them on ads, and I've heard like services where people will like,
yes,
I guess
you can send them off and have them washed. And if you're doing it yourself, like I was just describing, and then, you just throw it in the wash, and then once a week at least you throw your washing machine on the cleaning cycle with a little bleach, and I mean, it should be good, worth it, save a lot of money.
It's a whole lot better than to do it.
Oh yeah, plastic pants.
No, well, in Germany it was actually cloth with pins.
I had the big plastic pants, I think, when I was a baby, but maybe pins underneath that. My mom did it
like
that way.
actual physically cloth.
Yeah.
That you made into a diaper.
Yeah, they call it a pre-fold, and so it's like a double layer, so it's a little bit thick, but it's a rectangle, and then you just fold it up and pin it around. And they still have those too, and they're much cheaper than the others.
But they're a lot messier.
And yes, they don't, no waterproof lining. Yep.
And do they last you pretty much the whole?
They do. They really do.
Wow. Yeah. That's so cool. I was just curious. I've never met anybody who's actually pulled it off, so I was just wondering about it. Have you done it with all 3 kids?
Yes. Yep. And then, I still had the diapers from the first ones with the others, so.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. Because disposable diapers, like,
so expensive.
Yeah.
And they just fill the landfills.
Yeah. They are, every time my son's girlfriend brings out a diaper genie thing of diapers, I'm like, good Lord, that child's full of shit. And piss.
Okay. All right, so we've
covered the first two.
Yeah. Now we're on to the third one.
Yeah, when Reed was 2.5, sometime in November, I just started getting sort of this upset stomach, and I was just sort of queasy all the time. But the rest of the family also seemed to have a little bit of queasiness, so we thought it was some strange, like, norovirus or something that was really mild. And then theirs passed, and mine never did. And so about mid-December, I finally figured it out. I put it together. So, of course, a complete surprise. On top of that, it's Christmas. We're getting evicted. We're moving out and having to, like, move in with his parents in their spare house. And so I'm like, it was so hard.
That sounds incredibly stressful.
Incredibly stressful.
Now, are y'all married at this time?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Was this the 5 Points house you were getting evicted from?
Yeah.
Wow, y'all stayed there a while, too.
We did. We had a very generous landlord that actually put up with us longer than any landlord should have. As far as finances were concerned.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'll try and edit that sound out. So where did his family live?
Newmarket. Yeah.
Ooh, you're going out there.
Yeah, a very large, amazingly beautiful property, and it's on a bend. And so, they used to have a vineyard out there, and then like the grapes are all gone. It's just grown up, but so you can't even see the neighbors. And it was really lovely as far as seclusion and being able to just be in nature.
Right. Let the kids run naked.
Yes, and they did.
Heck yeah. I was about to say...
No disposable or cloth diapers for you. Just go poop in the woods. Bye-bye.
Yep. Go stick your booty in the water and clean your butthole off.
It certainly happened.
I'm not...
It was a really, really old farmhouse that was already like termite damage and falling apart. So...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a thing.
In Alabama.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Hot.
Wow. So you, your partner, and 3 kids, one of them being an infant.
One wasn't born yet.
Oh, that's right. That happened,
yeah. And that they were actually born there. I found a midwife that was willing to help me in that house. And
break the rules.
Mm-hmm, he was born in Cole, and so his water sac was intact when he was born. Yeah.
Now, what is the term you used?
Incaul. Caul.
I have never heard that term before.
And so his did break shortly after. Sometimes they stay intact, and you can watch this little baby squirming around inside the water sac, just swimming, totally unaware that they've been born.
Wow.
It's
because they're in the bathtub.
It's really
right?
It's this whole magical.
You made the bathtub that time,
thing.
right?
I did. Now here's the funny thing.
Well, it was probably not a bathtub.
Here's the funny thing. It was an inflatable tub in the middle of the kitchen. What we didn't consider was the amount of water we had in our hot water tank versus the amount of water we needed in this tub. So I did give birth in cold water, and it was like, okay, you're in shock. We probably need to get out now. Yeah. Get the baby out quickly.
That's a temperature difference right there.
Yeah. It's like just pee in it.
All right.
Keep it warm.
Oh,
warm up a little bit. Baby's still in the sack. It's okay.
So I'm just picturing you trying to get into this tub, and you're like, "Oh, that's cold water. That's cold water." And then it's
I'm gonna do it. I'm determined.
That is so funny.
Some water on the stove.
Please. We did. It just wasn't enough.
I know. Some more, please.
So did the other kids, were they present? Or?
They were asleep
okay.
in their rooms. And so it was like the next day when they woke up, we're like, hey, you want to meet Oak?
Oak?
Okay. Yeah. My little Oak.
Wow.
He's my big Oak.
And Oak is how old now?
He's 10. He'll be 11 at the end of August.
Very cool. So did the other 2 exhibit any autism traits or...
So they all have some neurodivergent traits. Reed is more on the ADHD, super hyped, pumped, and, like all over the place and very creative. And he just gets these ideas that aren't always, they just don't make sense. They're just like crazy, outlandish ideas. And you cannot change his mind, no matter what. And that's one of the ones... he wanted to get a job at Publix eventually, and he's trying to work out semantics of transportation, and he's not old enough to drive, and he won't be old enough to drive for a while. And so he's like, okay, I figured it out. I'm going to buy myself a motorized parasail, and I'm going to just, fly myself to work every day.
Perfect.
And I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah. And I kept coming up with reason. I was like, where are you going to land it? He's like, there's a field right next to it. And I'm like, that's a private field. You have to have permission. And I'm like, what are you going to do with it while you're inside? He's like, well, I'm going to hook it to the bike rack. And I'm like,
yeah,
no,
Mom.
You're not. It's a big old parachute. This is not going to work. And safety is another concern here. And no, it's just no. And he's like, well, we'll revisit this later. So when we went hang gliding, and this was one of the reasons we did, I'm telling my instructor this story, and I'm like, so that was crazy, right? And he's like, well, actually people do this all the time. Maybe not for work, but they do it all the time. And then they just, hook it up to a car and while they're in there. Now, the biggest logistical problem here is if there's inclement weather, he wouldn't be able to get to work. And I'm like, you're not allowed to talk to my child.
Yeah.
I would think
Do the rules.
I would think most municipalities have rules against parasailing within
14-year-olds parasailing on their own.
Seriously. And I would imagine if a DHR social worker saw a 14-year-old sailing past on their way to Publix, you might be getting a little knock, knock, knock from DHR.
Maybe. They'd have to fly up there to get him. On their megaphone. Can you come down here?
And they just go to your house when it rains.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Lord.
But so with Reed, some mild epilepsy runs in our family. And so at one point when he was around 10 years old, he had a major epileptic episode, which we weren't aware beforehand that he was having seizures. He seemed to be having these strange night terrors, and then it turned out that those were seizures, just interesting ones. And it was a huge thing where he woke up. He was mechanical, robotic, and could not talk to us. And we tried walking him into the other room, and then he started convulsing, and he started turning blue, and we're blowing into his nose.
Lord.
He continued through this seizure-like state for 45 minutes while we waited for
45 minutes?
45 minutes.
Oh, my God.
And then, he came to after they administered oxygen, and he was talking to me on the phone, but then he went back into it when he was in the emergency room. Fortunately, he has not had any more episodes as of late.
Well, that's good.
It is a factor, and he took a medication for it for several years.
Yeah. But that's another reason, no, right.
I mean, yeah, if you're not allowed to shower on your own for fear of drowning, maybe you can't paraglide on your own either.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm trying to help you here to give you.
Thank you. I hadn't come up with that one yet, but you're
come
right.
up with some good one. Hey, dude, what happens if you have a seizure in the sky?
Yeah.
You fall. Mm-hmm. You dead. We don't want you to die. So no.
I'm not going to name names. We actually had a friend who recently had a seizure, and he seized up so hard that he cracked his vertebrae. And I have never heard of someone I've certainly heard of people breaking bones from falling or slapping themselves, but I've never heard of the muscles tensing up that hard.
And I broke this rule because he was vomiting, and your teeth clenched down,
right?
And so that was a part of why he couldn't get any oxygen.
So
I stuck my knuckle in there, but they'll tell you, they will bite your finger off.
Yeah.
Do not do that. And it was uncomfortable, but luckily I kept my digits, and
that's good.
He stayed alive.
I'm just amazed by the 45 minutes because every time I hear about seizures, it's maybe a few couple minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. They, barbiturates is the main medication used if you are having an active seizure, because it is your brain just fritzing out. It's having electrical discharges that it shouldn't be having, and so it just needs to calm down. So for the longest time, they have sprays, and they have tablets that just dissolve. That's if you get it in your mouth, they'll be good to go within a couple minutes.
As long as they don't vomit it up.
Yeah.
Right, but it dissolves so quickly that...
if I say if you can get it on their tongue, it'll go straight in the bloodstream too.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, the nasal spray is the best, but we couldn't afford it. So we went with the second best, and luckily we never even needed it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Has he had any seizures since?
He has had more of the nocturnal events that we had to keep his mattress on the floor because he would not stay in a bed. He will roll across the room this way, and then roll across the room this way, and then roll across, and he'll get up, and it's almost like he's moving robotically, and he will be speaking, but it's totally gibberish. Like you would think that we needed an exorcism or something, but it's some kind of strange seizure, right?
Wow, never heard that.
I have a cousin who has sunflower syndrome, which is incredibly rare, but it's just in our genetics. And so if she's out in the sun, it triggers her to have seizures, but her seizures look like she's a sunflower dancing.
Huh.
That's interesting.
It's wild.
Wow.
All right. So what about?
So we're special.
And what about Mr. Oak?
So Oak is doing really well. It would not surprise me if he was autistic. He's very particular about different things. He's incredibly smart. All three of them are incredibly smart. He is the reader of the family. Like, he either wants to be on his computer or he wants to be reading. And he will read for, 4 or 5 hours at a time. And then, he loves it. But his foods can't touch, and they can't, it has to be very particular types of foods, and he wears his headphones to block out noise, and he gets overwhelmed. Those
are also pretty common symptoms of ADD too.
Yes, and so it might not be autism. Absolutely,
some sort of neurodivergence.
Exactly.
They kind of hand in hand.
They can. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was buying this crazy awesome antique flatware that I found on Marketplace recently.
Wait, what did you say?
Antique flatware.
Antique. Okay, so I did not hear antique.
I heard antique. So I'm like,
I did too.
So it's the opposite of flatware. So
I was like, is it curly ware? What is it?
Is it like how is it antique flatware?
It is 1958 brass and rosewood Vietnamese flatware, and it's like the 150 piece set for the big old parties. I found it on Marketplace, and so it's gorgeous. And I'm like, okay, we're driving down to Auburn to pick up this flatware. And she wants to meet at a Buc-ee's. My kids have never been to a Buc-ee's. I went once. I knew better. But I'm like, I will not deprive you if you think you want to
So that's a lot of stimulus for an autistic child.
Both Reed and Oak, we walk in the door. We make it about a quarter of the way in. I can't find them anywhere. They've just disappeared. I go to the bathroom. I buy a drink. And I go back to the car. They're both in the car. And I'm like, did you guys get your drinks? Because that's what they wanted. And they were like, and I'm like, I will give you money if you want to go back in and get a drink. And they're like, no, we are never going back in there again.
But Buc-ee's is intense.
It's just crazy.
A lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of smells. And different things.
Yeah. Do they do okay with like movie theaters? Are they okay with that? Or is that a little too intense too?
Oak has never been to a movie theater, but Reed does, and he does great. Yeah.
Well,
they don't do amusement parks.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Jess likes the movies. Jess loves the movies, actually. That was their first idea of, I want to get a job. I want to work at a theater.
There you go.
Hasn't panned out yet, but
well, I mean,
it might. Yeah.
You just got to tell them to paraglide over there and.
That was free.
I know. I know.
Open opportunity. Jess can take Reed's idea.
Yeah, that's right.
Not that Jess would ever paraglide.
Paraglide is what I'm going with.
Can you imagine Reed? We're like, okay, so this is how you paraglide work. You got to get it.
Land on top of the Monaco.
Yeah, you got to get a running start.
I told him that he could offer to fly a banner for the store. Maybe they'd pay him extra.
That's funny.
That is so funny.
That's funny. Okay, so now you have I can't do math, was like a 6-year-old and a 4 or 3-year-old and a newborn?
2.5.
Okay, that was close.
Newborn? And then 6 and a newborn.
Okay.
Yep.
Out in the country.
Out in the country.
But Reed,
totally isolated.
But Reed potty trained himself, right?
Well before then, yes.
Yeah,
About a year before then.
Only one diapers. Right.
Now, Oak was totally different. This is the funny thing. Oak is like the opposite of Reed. Oak refused to grow up or do any changes. That was not going to happen. And so I remember with potty training, he was almost 4. And we're like, okay, this really needs to happen. And we're trying to I am trying to bribe him. I'm like, I will give you candy. I don't need candy. I'm like, I will give you toys. I don't need toys. I need my diapers. And I'm like, psychological warfare. Only babies wear diapers. And you want to be a big boy, don't you? And he's like, I am a baby.
From a 4-year-old.
That's right.
That is hilarious.
I am not a big boy, and you cannot take my diapers.
And you're not making me go to school, so I don't have to potty train. I can wear my diapers as long as I want to.
And so he is the little exhibitionist. No matter what, like, fully clothed, take him outside, put him on the trampoline. I turn around for 30 seconds, turn back around, and he's butt-ass naked and just bouncing and having a party.
Hell yeah. I mean,
so either diapers or naked.
Yeah.
There's like no...
I mean, you save on...
We're in the country.
Saving on washing.
So are you still in the same farmhouse?
No, with the divorce and some recent events, I now have my own house, and I'm thrilled. We have it about a month and a half, and I'm filling it up with antiques and
you're anti-flatware.
Yeah,
that's right. What we thought.
That's right.
Yeah. What area did you move to?
We're like right next to Flint River off of Winchester Road.
Okay.
Oh, you're kind of out
so
near.
You're still out there, kind of.
Yes, I love it out there. It is.
They're...
Reed has taken up fishing, so he takes himself down to the river to fish. And he's close enough to Publix to walk now, so we don't even need the paraglider.
Hey.
And he has friends. He can bike to his friend's house.
Well, that's good.
And I have my new love, who is on the opposite end, about 10 minutes up the road, and I wanted to sit close to him.
There you go.
So for our non-Alabama people, Flint River is and Winchester Road are kind of east of Huntsville a little bit. Are you in Huntsville or are you outside?
Yes, we have a Huntsville address.
Okay. So you're like far east Huntsville, right on the border between Huntsville and like Newmarket almost, or Gurley.
Yes. Yeah, Huntsville and Newmarket.
Yeah.
Gurley's on a little bit further in to the west. We're still like 28 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And the Flint River is kind of the smallish tributary to the Tennessee. I've gone kayaking on it many a times.
It's a lot of fun for kayaking and wading.
Mm-hmm. I went kayaking once.
Okay.
We went to Florida.
That's all
we
I
went
will say.
on this huge trip. So we have not done vacations at all because we couldn't afford them, and other reasons.
Kids are naked. I mean, you can't really, take them into a store.
Staying at home all the time, and so this year, with everything that happened, it was time. And first, we started out in the Floribama area, and then we stayed there one night. And then we went over to Destin. We stayed there one night. Then we went over to Manatee Springs, and we stayed there glamping in the state park for 2 nights. And we got to kayak the springs out to the river with crocodiles. And we wanted to see manatees, but it was the wrong time of year. And then we go down to St. Petersburg, and we find this place on the way that is this rehabilitation place. And we're walking through, and it was very cheap, like $10 a ticket for each of us. And it was like the most beautiful zoo you had ever been in. But all the animals were rehabilitated, and they had the manatees. And so we got to see them.
When you say rehabilitated, do you mean like ex-lab animals or something like that?
No, like somehow they had been injured, and they could not survive on their own in the wild.
Oh, okay.
But it was very open, and like they were all very happy with their habitats there.
There was
survived by the or they were taken from the wannabe zoos, like
the Tiger King,
whatever. Yeah.
But I was so proud of Reed and Oak's ability to just they went kayaking. They didn't complain. They had a great time, and it was so much fun to go on these adventures. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of
now
fun.
You know that they like vacations.
Yes.
So there you go.
So we hit up St. Petersburg, and we went to the Dolly Museum and the Chihuly Museum, and then we went to Jacksonville, and then we came back. And then when we went to get that flatware, I was like, shit, we're 3 hours from the beach. So we went to the beach one night, And then we came back. And then this one was Reed's birthday, and I was having an emotional week, and it was hot, and I was like, we're going to the mountains, and we're going to go fishing.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Sounds a lot of fun.
So, when did you marry your ex? You have 2 kids, or did you have
so the
3
actual-
and then
the
get
act-
married?
The actual marriage happened much further on, and it was for like tax purposes or something. It was bullshit. Never should have happened kind of thing.
Because it's more expensive to get divorced than it is to be married.
Well, we couldn't have it. Well, it was for taxes, so that we would get some of the extra refund money and support that we needed.
Gotcha.
And it was also for insurance, because joint insurance, we had to be married.
And then now you're divorced.
Yes.
And you have
Very
sounds
happy
like
about
you
that.
have a beau that
I do.
lives down the
I'm
street.
thrilled to. Yeah.
And the kids
Never saw that one
have
coming.
the kids
And very,
met,
very happy.
said
Yes,
both?
they have, and they approve.
okay.
Very good.
Yes.
And we're not I assume we're not expecting any grandchildren from Mr. or Jess anytime soon.
No, so Jess is asexual
Oh,
and does not like children. So
Perfect.
perfect.
right, yeah.
My granddaughter has told me before, for a little while, she was like, I think I'm lesbian, and then it was bi. And now, anytime she says she has a crush on a boy, I'm like, let's go back to being a
Right.
lesbian,
Right.
please.
That's,
So I was like, we don't need to worry about boys.
If you want to leave the house,
Yeah.
we have rules.
I was like, let's find us a nice trans man to date. That'd be fine.
perfect,
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, you've had some adventures in your. How are the kids handling the divorce and the separation from father figure and?
It's a lot. And yeah, it's just a lot. But then this is my take on it. And I think that they have grasped that and ran with it along with me, which I'm thrilled of. But when you go through extremely difficult things in life, the only way to counterbalance that is to do some extremely amazing things. And so that is what I'm trying to create for myself and for them. I'm trying to balance it out, and I think it's working.
That's awesome.
It's good.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we got to meet. So
I know.
I'm glad you came on.
This is so much fun.
Well, this is actually a good spot for a break, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back. And Benjamin, please let us know if they've ever injected any ads or any of our loyal listeners.
I did tell you, but it was like a year ago.
Well, I know they do it at the beginning. So they've been doing the beginning, like before the podcast starts. At least Amazon Music, I think, does it. They'll insert an ad, but like our service that we host with, they're like, oh, pay us $10 more a month, and we'll dynamically shove in ads, or you can just do it manually. And I was like, well, I think I can do it manually, so that's why I put the breaks in. But we don't. Like, this is just for funsies at the moment. Hopefully it'll turn profitable. If it doesn't, it's just been a blast. And we got to meet awesome people like you.
We have.
It's an amazing hobby.
We've got to meet a lot of good people and drink and eat
And
a lot of good foods and
some bad wines.
good ones. And
And we were talking about the wines at Costco. Our listeners know this, but if someone ever offers you to get the wine advent calendar from Costco, just politely say no.
Okay.
just
Because
tell them get you a gift card.
yeah,
Yes.
the 25 wines we've had, I think maybe 5 were okay. The rest were just blech.
No.
They're not good.
And the 5 that were okay were just okay for him to like use it in food.
You could put some cranberry juice in it or turn it into
no, just to put it in
some
food.
some glug.
Yeah, it was. None of the very few of the
Sangria.
wines.
No,
not even that. Oh,
that.
no.
Just to boil, just to for cooking.
Yeah, it was not good.
If that.
All right, Miss Jennifer. I put the guest down, but she didn't have access. I didn't keep the thing.
She did the
wine. Do you want to do the snack, or do you want me to do it?
I will try.
Okay.
We are eating cheeses. Mm-hmm. And I had my crackers. And the cheese is Merlot Bellavitano cheese.
I didn't see what I guess Bella Batana was the type. I don't know. I thought it was a Gouda, like an aged Gouda, because I could taste the salt crystals in there. Like there was a tiny bit of a crunch, like an aged Gouda. Well, it was
wine infused, right?
Well, I think that was in the rind.
Yeah. But no, because some pieces had purple in them.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it though. It was a good flavor to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so we've had our snack time, and now it's story time. So, Miss Leslie, you got a fun story for us?
Oh, let's think. Yeah. So this trip that we just went on, that was very impromptu. Reed has always struggled with his birthdays. It's like too much pressure for him. And it started when he was 2 years old, when he was, cognitive of what was going on for the first time probably. And so if you said, happy birthday, he would run away. If you said, I made you a birthday cake and we want to sing to you and you can blow out the candles, he would run away. If you said, I have a cake here, I'm going to set it on the table, I'm going to walk away to the other room, he would eat the cake.
Poor baby.
So, yes. And so every year he gets really excited and then he's always disappointed no matter what, even if it's really good. There's just something about it it's emotional for him.
Anticipation, maybe?
Well, so this year, he felt he had a lot of friends that we consider family, like the ones that they stayed with for a little while, and then my mom and some of the grandparents did celebrate with him in their own ways. And we had a little dinner party with one of his friends and their parents, but he wanted to have a big party with all of his friends, and a lot of them weren't available because of the time of year it is. And so it starts with, could I just have a birthday in March? And I'm like, well, we can celebrate anytime you want, babe. But he's still really, just a little let down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for one reason or another, busyness, and like I said, they all celebrated in their own ways, but majority of our close family members could not come to the actual dinner party, and that was very disappointing.
Right.
And I think, with some of the family shifts that we've had this year, that added to it. And so he was emotional, and then I had my own stuff that I was emotional with, and I woke up one day and I was like, we're gonna get away. And at first I'm thinking, well, we'll just go to the beach because that's where we go. And then I'm like, the beach is hot. We need to go. He likes fishing now. We're going to the mountains. I'm going to look up Verbo. I'm going to find a cabin. We're going to just go. And so that's what we did. We left the next day, and he was so excited. And it was me and Reed and Oak, and we went up to Trenton, Georgia, and we had a little cabin there. The first day, I looked up things to do, and I found a cave. So we went caving.
Wow.
Right, yeah. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had to, the entryway was about 30 feet of crawling. And so that's what we did. I went to Dollar General, bought a few flashlights, and was like, okay, I've got our adventure for the day. And they were game. And then the next day, we were going to, I guess maybe it wasn't the next day. Maybe it was the day after that. They're all running together. But, the next day we shifted down to, it's like Violet, Alabama or something. It was this amazing 150-year-old cabin on a 500-acre farm and hunting reserve. And it was just gorgeous and so secluded and natural, and there were ponds everywhere, and so Reed's going fishing, and
fun.
That's when I set up the hang gliding, and so Reed and I went and we did our hang gliding, and now he wants to go back and do the school and learn how to hang glide himself, and then he can be a pilot that takes other people up hang gliding. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then, so he caught 7 bluegills this morning. He got up at 7 a.m. before we headed back to town to have birthday lunch with my mom and my stepdad.
Wow.
That sounds like a fun birthday.
That's a great weekend. Hopefully that helps with all of the disappointments of his friends.
Yeah,
and,
I think he's
you know,
feeling
all
much
of
more
that.
elated
So now he has stories to go tell his friends. Hey, y'all.
Yes.
If y'all would have went with me.
We have video
Look at this.
of us up in the air while hang gliding.
Nice.
Before you leave, I'm going to have to get that number for you because I bet Zane would love to do that. 'Cause
Yes.
he did the parachuting.
They were so good. It's the Lookout Mountain Flight School, and it's almost like a hippie commune. Like you're driving through, and everybody that goes there for school or for working, they seem to also camp there. They have tents or RVs or these little huts, and they were all this community hanging out, having a good time. And
there you go.
They were great.
That sounds like a blast.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you, Miss Leslie.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
This is so much fun.
For all our listeners, if you have any funny stories about your kids,
Or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics,
email us at guideto-poorparenting@gmail.com.
or call us at 256-274-1329. Leave a message.
And thanks again for listening to another episode of Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask, if they still have to attend the week-long summer camp, hold on, let me say it again. And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask if they still have to attend a week-long summer camp, even though they requested to go to it 3 months prior.
Tough shit.
I will
Get your ass on the bus. You're gonna have a great fucking time because Auntie Jay's already told you, and go.
Yes, I've
Tough
already
shit. You're
done all the
going.
paperwork, took you to the doctor to get the goddamn medical forms. You're going. Motherfucker. Thanks,
You're not
Leslie.
gonna be like your uncle.
Bye.